Okay, we have a question here.
Yeah, have you guys begun, have you cut any kind of teaser? Have you begun a social media campaign that
We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter. So on Twitter, we're Broad Street Pics.
Okay.
And on Facebook, it's Equity the Movie. Equity the film, not the movie.
The movie was taken by a short film.
Equity the film. Remember
Yeah.
the film office? Equity the film. Go like it. And in fact, it would be a huge help to us if you go and like it and speak and share it on your page, because that actually will help us with distribution. So thank you for asking. Wait, you asked about social media and also.
I didn't know if you had someone helping you do your social media campaign. There are specific people that are, you know.
Yes.
We're just not there yet, is the short answer.
I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
I know some powerful women that
Oh.
do
We
that
would
that like
love
it
their
behind
cards.
Great.
We would love that.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Right now, it's one of our investors' daughters who's volunteering, so we would
Yeah.
love.
And she hasn't even started yet. 'Cause
Yes.
she's busy until December. So yeah.
I think I see a hand back there.
Hi, a little while ago you mentioned your investors allowed you to hire this particular director, name I forget, I'm sorry. Did that mean, when you said allowed, did that mean they just were willing to meet her rate, or was that an exertion of creative control? And is there any checking with your investor group, taking in votes, checking with them about any creative issues?
You know, when I said allowed, I meant that basically there were no restrictions from the investor group at all, which was incredible. Now that said, there are various investor levels, right? So if you were a six-figure investor, there was more, we had many more conversations with them, and one of the things we try to do with all our investors is give them an experience in addition to a film. So we meet with them once every couple months, we do full business plans, we do full presentations, we weighed in on things that would, for example, with actors, we said, you know, here's a list of 10 that are interested, is there anyone you love or hate? That kind of involvement. And ultimately, one of the actresses we were considering, one of our, there were, Anna Gunn and this other woman, and one of our lead investor wasn't crazy about the other one, and that she didn't have any control, but we value the decision, and it did affect a little bit, the way we went. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, well said.
Okay. We are dying to know who that is.
We will never say.
Hand over there.
Hi. You said that you've both been in the edit room a lot now, and the director, I'm assuming, is in the edit room. And what's that like? Who, at the end of the day, pulls the trigger?
We're simply not there yet. We're so early in the process, and it's actually, I would say, the most challenging part right now is, were we not going for a Sundance cut, which our deadline is October 15th, we would be giving our editor and our director a lot more space and a lot more time to do their craft without giving as many notes. And we're pushing the story a little bit faster than is comfortable in a way for all of us, because my favorite part of producing is letting artists be artists and giving them the space to do that and whatever they need to do that. That's my favorite part. And right now, I can't really do that. Like, that's just the truth of this moment. But that's also the truth of, gosh, it would be really fun to go to Sundance. So that's part of the job. And finding ways to gently and lovingly, I wish I didn't have to do this, but I think we need to do this right now, as opposed to look at this in 3 weeks.
That makes me want to ask a specific question about that. Whatever Sundance cut you deliver, will you have an opportunity then to go back and maybe make?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So right now we're just going for the Sundance cut.
Yeah, I mean, our editing is December 11th is a final cut date that we have in the calendar now. So that's 2 months past what we're going to have to hand deliver, which is unfortunate because
Yeah, I think you mean December 11th, yeah.
Yeah, what did I say?
December.
October, oh, you did say
Did I say
December,
December?
yeah. So I said, just so we're clear, well, you know, October 15th, we have to have an edit, but then we have a whole 2 months that we'll play with it more and really finesse it more. That is going to be exciting and fun and playful.
A
and
little more
yeah,
relaxed.
Yeah.
And of course, you find out from Sundance.
I think you find out like Thanksgiving, literally,
Yeah,
like the day before the day after. And you know, and the reason Sundance, in case you are, you know, for us, it's not about the festival. It just happens to have the highest sales consistently, year in and year out. So that is the only reason we're pushing for Sundance, is to sell the movie for the most money.
For our investors.
Great. Okay, looking for hands. There's a couple back there.
It's great that you have shared with us that you've done investors, where you're at with the process of the film. Could you share with us, that even with everything you have and you received with favor, can you tell me if there was any moment while the process of this was going on, you hit a bump in the road and you came across a situation that you said, wow, how am I going to
They're every day. Here's what I will teach you about producing. There is not a day without a bump. And, you know, today we're about to do some pickups of things that we didn't get. So we're looking at this cut and we're like, oh, we never saw this. We want to see this. Oh, you know, how do we get this? Oh, this looks weird. We need this, right? So we're doing 3 days of that this coming weekend. We have a phenomenal gift of one of our investors is helping us get a private plane. So we're gonna have a shot in a private plane, and we have everything in line for that, and all of a sudden today, there's a bump in that I won't go into detail about, but now all of a sudden we might not get the private plane, and we've flown in an actor for Saturday to shoot the private plane, and now we might not have the private plane.
Crew.
And we have all the
everyone.
crew, and we've paid all this
Islip.
money for
Yeah.
this, and we're all going to Islip Airport. And now we might not have the plane. That happened on the train here, friends.
Yes.
Every day. Every day. That's producing.
And I also think when you're on set, every day there's a problem, and then the scale of the problem is up and down, and it really is about getting through the day and finishing the film, you know, and it's lots of problem solving.
Yeah, we know all about that, right? Yeah. So was there another hand all the way back there? I think I see it.
Hi, I'm a hopeful future producer, and I'm just finishing up school right now, and I was just wondering if you have any advice to someone that's about to start their career.
I say just do it. Like, you know, I mean, I think a lot of, and that sounds like so easy to say, but I think if you first find a story you want to tell and make it personal to you, and then actually write it and say you're going to do it and set a date and set a timeline and just do it, because that's, I think, how you get things done. And then the other thing I would say is you do get, especially in the fundraising process, a lot of no's. And sometimes, like our first investor who happened to, she started at, I can give you this number, she started at 50,000 and she ultimately increased her investment several times. And I think there were about 25 meetings to get to her. And it wasn't until the 24th meeting, you know, when someone suggested her, and then the 25th meeting when a second person suggested her and we met with her, you know, and we got her, and then that created the momentum. So just don't give up on the fundraising.
Yeah, I think we are in a magical time with crowdfunding, which it was not useful for a film of this scale, but for a smaller scale story, like a short film, is so doable and so easy. And it also, as we talked about earlier, creates an automatic audience and an automatic sort of marketing plan. Crowdfunding is a really interesting thing. But I think one of the things that Sarah said that's so important is just do it and set your time frames. And she's a master at that, and I respect that so highly. The last thing I'll say reading a parenting book recently that really I find fascinating, which is all about like successful thinking and teaching your children successful thinking. Is they were talking to these chess masters, and they were talking about the difference between chess masters who are trying to get to a certain number of their chess game, like the breaking 2000, right? And their languaging of I want to do that versus I choose to do that. So instead of saying to yourself, I want to be a producer, I choose to be a producer. And then once you make that choice, taking action based on that choice. And that the chess masters who said, I choose to be someone who breaks 2000, that became their life. And they stopped going out and they played 10 hours a day and they really made that choice.
And then I'll just add one more helpful thing, which Mira, our director, her first movie that got her this job, she crowdfunded, and it was a very low-budget movie, and she used all her friends. So for the first one, I think,
Yeah.
get your friends,
Use your
get them
friends.
in for free.
That's really great advice. I know, I remember one of my favorite things I learned in college was a teacher who said, if you want to be a thief, steal something every day. You want to be a liar, lie, whatever. So on the positive note as well, if you want to be a person who is admired, you do something admirable every day, and eventually that becomes who you are. So I think that that's really wonderful advice, that you choose to be a producer or you choose your destiny. I know I made some choices of my own, which I won't talk about now. But yeah, I think that was really great advice. And a lot of young aspiring filmmakers come and say, I went to film school and I don't know, where do I start? What do I do? And it's just like, get any job you can get. Just get any job you can get in film. And just be the best person on set that will do whatever you're told to do and understand the politics of the etiquette on set, and just go and do it, and you will rise to the top. If you work the hardest and you're the smartest.
I'm reading the Ed Burns book, which was about independent ed, which is just a fun read. But one thing that's interesting is he was working at Entertainment Tonight. This is a good story, I promise. And he was doing, an assistant, a PA job for like 2 or 3 years when he wrote his first, the film that did so well, Brothers McMullen. And he submitted Brothers McMullen to every agent, every studio, everyone. Everyone said, when it was completed, they all said, no, this is every agent. We don't want you. We don't want your script. He submitted it to Sundance. He got a no. He then, on Entertainment Job, ran into Robert Redford and Robert Redford's assistant in the elevator, and he handed them the film, and Robert Redford handed it to his assistant. Somebody watched it, and he got an acceptance letter from Sundance the same year. So there is a little bit of that in the business, which is luck to getting your stuff seen.
Yeah. It's hard to know where the karma is going to come from, right? You just have to keep out there plugging away.